All right, guys. Well, welcome back to the Love Solutions podcast. This is your girl, Sayani.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your girl, Daria Marie.
And tonight's topic is solutions on actions, using actions over words, and, telling the difference between a fling and love. So that is the topic. I know it's pretty long. Daria actually said that. She was like, it's a long one. But I feel like that is what a lot of people are talking about now. Like we need to talk about the difference because I was just telling you, Z, that a lot of women and perhaps men, but I don't know. I've heard it a lot from women that they tend to confuse um intimacy. Well, how great the eggplant is, um and comparing it to love. Like, because it's that good, they compare it to love. So, what do you think about that?
I also think that men do the same. I think a lot of this goes a little bit deeper where it's hard to separate infatuation with an actual compatibility or connection. That so much of the physical and the intimate connection that you would have with somebody kind of supersedes the potential for a future.
Right.
And get stuck between whether it's something that is going to be a fling that's short term because you guys enjoy, each other's company and each other's intimacy, or if it's something that's long term and something that will actually evolve into a relationship.
Right. And I feel that's where we need to kind of dissect this, because just because the strokes are on point does not mean that everything else is on point.
But
So,
different strokes for different folks, sis, because let
right.
me let me tell you something. I don't care. Like, really, honestly, I don't think I've ever been, oh my God, I don't know if I can say the word.
Try to use a different reference or something similar,
Um,
or that could describe it.
like hypnotized with the eggplant, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
Go. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be emotionally intelligent to, be able to separate when someone can actually bring value to your life or they can only bring pleasure to your life. Like
Right.
that's huge. And I feel like for example, the message that I showed you that I got today, like a message like that, I can't even honestly like say to you guys what the message was, but because it's so inappropriate. But
Super inappropriate.
like being approached like that immediately off the rip shows me zero potential for anything serious, like immediately off the rip. So like even something minimal as that, like an encounter or the way someone tries to pursue you or responds to you, or like even the way that they move with you. Like if a guy immediately, is like, oh, do you want to come over? Or, oh, like kind of sexualizes you in the beginning before even
Right.
trying to know you or know anything about you. Things like that are like red flags and warning signs that are going to tell you that it's just going to be a fling and not a thing.
Right. Right. Exactly. And another thing is, another thing is that it's something it's something that I can relate to, because when you are in a vulnerable place, and sorry, if you when you are in a vulnerable place, a lot of things feel good to you, right? Like, let's just say you're going through a breakup. You're going through a breakup, and or you've healed from this breakup. Let's talk about the positive, because that's what we do, solutions. So you're over this breakup, and all you want to do, your intentions honestly is that you want to date and have fun. You just want to have a good time. But the different people that you deal with, you will get so many different emotions because of the fact that you are looking for that love. You're looking for that goal again. So you have these hopes and you have these expectations, and you start to think, oh, well, because this is part of my, hi, honey. She is such a cutie patootie, y'all. Honey is part of this live right now.
Say hi.
Hi, honey. Hey, baby girl.
Wants my attention.
Of course, let her be on the live. Okay, she's adorable. She is.
Go ahead, keep going, Yanni.
So so basically, when you are in a vulnerable place and you want to feel those emotions again, sometimes there are people that will give you somewhat of that feeling where you're like, oh, this actually feels good and I want to feel this all the time, not knowing that at the moment is probably something that you just need. But remember what I just said, the moment. That's how you know it's a fling, because it's just for the moment. It's just for you to get whatever it is that you need to get out of your system and feel that feeling and then keep it pushing. Because if you're just meeting up with this person and that's all there is to it, that's not really love. Like if this person is just asking you, right, it's an itch to scratch. That's right, right. Um, so if this person is only calling you up at a certain time, they're telling you they want to hang out with you, they want to see you, but don't text you all day. The consistency ain't there, but there is only effort to meet up and do what we got to do. And then I see you when I see you. That's not love, honey. So we have to get out of that mindset of just because someone is pleasing you in a great way does not mean this is love. This person could be toxic and you don't even know it yet. You're only seeing one side of them. And that's that only side that you see.
I feel like I can tell so much from the way the conversation flows with somebody. Like when someone makes certain comments or gestures or references things that allude to really only honestly being interested because they're physically attracted to me or because that's only what they're looking for. And I feel like sometimes like people will pretend or like act like that's not their only intentions when like you can see right through it. Like you
Yep.
saw what that guy, I was like, oh, here I was hoping you would be a gentleman and you made this like inappropriate comment. Like, and he was such a good looking guy too. And I was like, oh, he messaged me. And then I opened the message and I was like, oh my God, like this is like, it's just like being a woman and having that kind of commentary. And I'm sure as a man too, like if you're looking for something serious or something of substance and a woman is just commenting on what you can do for them physically or only admiring things about you that are physical, like it gets old. And people don't
Yep.
understand that looks fade. Like the way that somebody looks and the way that someone is going to physically please you. Yes, that's important. It's a huge component of a relationship. Like you want physical compatibility and intimacy. Absolutely. But it shouldn't be something that makes you feel subjective or makes a man or a woman feel like that's the only reason why you're interested in them. It's not a good feeling.
Right.
Like, yes, it feels nice to feel like someone's attracted to you and you want someone to be attracted to you. That's also super important. But like when you're looking for something on a deeper level, it almost just becomes irritating. This guy, Gray Hulk, said that's what I deal with. Like, see, like even men. And honestly, I know that it's not just women. I know that women do it to men as well. And honestly,
Right.
it's sometimes they say to men like they objectify you in another way where they want to see how much money you have, which is another topic that we've talked about too. Like it's that
Right.
mentality where it's like, what can you do for me? You know, like what can you do for me? Not like I'll be there when times get rough or we can go through life's challenges together or I want to learn about your past. I want to learn, you know, about your traumas and ways that I can make you feel better and ways that we can have a healthy relationship together and connect on other ways and not just like objectify someone or sexualize someone. It's really honestly like it gets so old.
It definitely does. But in a world today where everything is highly, exposed in an intimate way, if you know what I mean. Sorry, guys, if you're listening to this podcast, we just have to be careful with our words on TikTok Live. So that's why it might sound weird to you. And you can also watch this video on YouTube as well. So all of that to say, wow, I like you. Oh, thanks. We like you too. Welcome to Love Solutions. Dark Knight, Dev, NYC says, I think it's real when you spend time outside the bedroom and evoke an emotional investment. I was just about to talk about that.
I got it.
It's
Was I, but you could go first because I will comment on that after.
if someone that's unavailable emotionally should tell you everything you need to know, because I feel like we confuse the emotions of the of the feeling, right? Like the emotions that we feel at the moment, and we think about that and we leave with that and we start creating these ideas in our minds of what it could be. And it's like, no, you have to understand that it's a thrill, right? Like a fling, it's a thrill. That's all, there's just a thrill to it. But when it comes to love, you falling in love with somebody, that's somebody that's showing you who they really are. You fall in love with somebody because they're able to be themselves around you and share things about themselves that they probably don't share with everyone. They're being vulnerable with you. They're showing a side of themselves that they want you to see because they actually really like you. They're comfortable around you. Look at those signs. Those signs are obvious. So, because when someone really likes you, they'll show you. It's not like they're just going to sit back and relax. And that's what we were talking about in regards to, you know, using actions instead of words. Like actions do speak louder than words. Absolutely. And these actions and these words that you state, make sure that there's some actions that follow it. As with anything in life.
Bless you. And that's
Thank
something
you.
really, honestly is a really big teller for me. And it's funny, this is actually like a story that I want like the gentleman on here to hear, because this was my reality. This is something that happened with me, is that I was talking to somebody and he was a really great guy. We talked on the phone a bunch, we texted a lot. We lived a little bit far away from each other. And we went on a couple of dates. And to be honest, he put a lot of effort into getting to know me as a person. And he was very respectful. Like he didn't even really like put his hands in places. When on the first date, like he was very respectful, kind of took my lead in terms of like physical touch and stuff like that. Like if I got close to him or if I touched him or if he felt like I was like, giving him the green light for certain things. And
Mm-hmm.
then we actually dated for probably 2 months before we were intimate. And unfortunately, I didn't feel like the intimacy went well. It wasn't something that I felt I could commit to for the long term,
Mm.
that I didn't think we were compatible in that way. And it actually made me really sad because I liked him so much as a person and he respected me so much as a woman and actually like moved the right way and made the right choices in terms of dating and putting effort in and communicating and being consistent. um that like I actually was honest with him about it. And I felt like had it had gone the other way and we were intimate like immediately before all of the other emotional stuff came along with it, like I probably wouldn't have even cared because we didn't even get the time to actually connect emotionally. Um,
Right.
I actually like felt bad. I had so much respect for him. He understood, like it didn't, result in an argument or anything like that. It wasn't any turmoil or negative vibes or anything like that. But it bothered me because I had high hopes because I actually liked the way he made me feel emotionally. And people say this all the time, and it is very true that women are emotional creatures and men are sometimes and mostly more physical creatures. So it does show that it does go a long way when you do actually treat a person like a person and try to get to know who
Right.
they are and bonds with them in other ways other than physically.
Exactly. So what are some solutions that we can offer for that part of this podcast, which is, you know, a fling is a fling, a love is love. Like there is a huge difference. And I will say that sometimes a fling can turn into an actual relationship. But again, what did we say? Someone that's unavailable emotionally, emotionally unavailable, excuse me. Um, Yeah, they are only there for one thing, and they're going to show you that. Someone that really likes you, someone that's really into you, is going to show you sides of themselves. They're going to show you levels of themselves, levels of vulnerability that they're comfortable exposing to you. So that's just one of the solutions in regards to that.
So I think another solution is to go back to the actions and words. I think that it's pretty much a no-brainer, and everybody knows that if someone's actions don't align with what they're telling you, then it's obviously not valid. It's not something that you can trust. It's not something that you can rely on. I'm really, really big on that. I'm really big
Right,
on empathy. I'm really big on showing people how I feel rather than just telling them. I think that words of affirmation are really important as well, to express yourself verbally, to let people know or the person know how you're feeling, because it's always nice to hear. But to only tell them and not show them is a whole other story. So I
right,
think attention to someone's actions as a woman, I can tell off of the rip if you're genuine, if you're looking for something serious, or if you're not, based on your actions, based on the way that you try to hang out with me or pursue something with me, the way that you ask me out, the way that you text me, the way if you ask to speak on the phone, the things that you say to me, the conversation topics that you bring up, like all of those actions will be very telling to a woman or a man as well. Like
right.
Ryan said, as soon as a woman initiates a DM, that he feels like that's not genuine. I have to disagree a little bit with that, because I have been the one to initiate a conversation or slide in the DM and be the one to say, like, respectfully, I find you very attractive, or whatever the case is. But you can tell just by the way that somebody puts their time, effort, their words, the conversation topics, and all of those things is definitely a solution to see whether someone is really into a fling or a thing with you.
Exactly. Ooh, I like that. Can you repeat that one more time? I like that.
You like my fling or a thing? Because,
Yes, I
you know,
like that.
like Yanni said, sometimes a fling can turn into a relationship. And it's honestly happened. It's happened to a lot of people that I know, where I feel like when something like that happens is because the pressure isn't there in the beginning, and that's something that I
Mm,
feel like needs to be removed from a dynamic, is pressure. Oftentimes people say, what are you looking for? Right. And that's an okay question to ask, but what you're looking for doesn't necessarily mean that it has to come with a time constraint or with a now or never type of a vibe. Like, you have to understand
right.
levels to it, and there's a process to a connection. So I think that why sometimes flings may evolve into more is because people start off with that lightheartedness, and they start off without those expectations, and then they realize that they're compatible and that they can grow with one another.
Exactly. Right. But you said something very important again, is the actions. You pay attention to the actions and that'll tell you everything. We live in a world today, and as of recently, I feel in the last few years, where we fall in love with what ifs, or maybe it's been around for years, and you know, just speaking to my clients and what I see and things I've been through, things I've heard, that have happened to like friends of mine, family members, things I've seen in general, where we tend to create this idea in our minds. Like, we create ideas in our minds of how it could possibly be with someone. And I feel like that's where a lot of dates go left, because it's good to have expectations. Don't get me wrong. You can have your expectations, but when you go into this creating these ideas in your mind of what ifs, and oh, well, this person said, for example, um I love the way I feel around you. Just those words, I love the way I feel around you, a woman or a man could easily take that as, oh, I have a chance. I have a chance. I could see myself with this person. I could see myself in a relationship with this person. And then you start to plan, and you start to say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do next. And this is how I'm gonna make sure to keep their attention. And all you're doing is you're following up with actions. But now he or she is not. And now you're over here losing time, wasting time, trying to prove to this person how into them you are, and they're just all talk. Meanwhile, you're all actions. So yeah, we need to start holding people accountable that believe them when they show you who they really are. That's real.
I like what 36 Ball said. He said, I think the connection is already there. People just want to be safe. And that's a very key word for me, is safe. Because
Hmm.
being vulnerable and opening your heart and your trust up to anyone is scary as hell. It's not an easy thing to do. So I feel like that feeling of safety, not necessarily comfort, because you want to get uncomfortable a little bit and
Right.
have that feeling of like a good fear. But safety and trust are huge. So I feel like, again, in order to feel safe, and feel like it's worth the risk of being vulnerable and opening your heart to somebody, is following closely the way that somebody moves, the way that they treat you, the actions that you're seeing in front of you, and making sure that aligns with, the way that you two are saying that you want things to flow.
That's the key right there, D. That's the key right there, is that it's in alignment. It aligns with your purpose of, because that's the thing. I always talk about this. Dating with intention. You talk about being purposeful with intention. Like, if you feel a way about love, and you have nothing but positive things to say about love and how you want it to look in your relationship, how you feel you deserve that type of love, because love is not negative. Love doesn't make you suffer. Love shows you nothing but greatness. You grow from love. You know what I mean? Like, you grow from love. You want it more every single day, is something that's positive. So when someone feeds you that, feeds the way people treat you in a positive light, because you're in alignment with that definition of what love is to you, and it's a positive thing, and it's something that will only affect the person that you connect with in a higher, it's a higher connection. Honestly, that's all you need. That's all you need. Those actions, that's love. That is absolutely love. But if people are just telling you this, they're just saying it to you, but they're not showing you. Don't think that they're going to show you out of thin air and you keep waiting around and you're falling in love with potential. Like, no, don't fall in love with potential. Don't fall in love with oh, but what if maybe I need to do this differently? No, stop. It's 2023, baby. Honey, we ain't got time.
Hey, you need the receipts. You need the receipts.
Talk about it, sis. You need the what?
You need the receipts. You need the proof is in the pudding. It's giving validity. Like, you need to feel it to your core. Like, they say, and I said this on another podcast, that gut feelings are guardian angels that are telling you something. So if something in your gut or something in your spirit or something in your soul is giving you an inclination that something is off or something's not there, or a sign that maybe something is not going to work out for you, just pay attention,
Right.
because 9 times out of 10 you're feeling it for a reason.
And so, what do you say to those that actually are the ones that just use words but no action?
I ain't got time for you. because I walk my talk. Like, I don't just talk about it, I be about it. Like, I don't understand. Eventually your words they catch up to you, like, eventually the expectation is gonna come out of what you're telling somebody, right? So be cognizant about what you're delivering verbally, because if you can't back it up with your actions, then you're going to lose a lot more people that could potentially just be even friends in your life. If it can't be romantic connection, that's where the respect is just going to be out the window, because if
Right.
exactly, talk is cheap. So if someone says something to me and they say to me, I feel like I said something and I can't match it with my actions, like, you're owning that, right? But
Right.
if you just keep spewing lies and saying things that you don't actually genuinely mean to just keep somebody in the loop, like,
Right.
eventually the true colors are going to come out, and it's just not going to do you any good. So be aware, be courteous, lead with love, lead with integrity, and pay attention to actions, because it's so important to make sure that the person that you're with or the person you're investing your time in is showing you that you're meant to be where you're at with them.
Exactly, because they will lead. You may guide, but they will follow. Like it's all there for you, baby. Don't ignore the red flags. It's all there. Okay? Because I be telling people this, D, and I be like, the red flags are there. Like, I'm tired of people thinking that red flags is like, oh, it's over exaggerated. No, it's not. You want it to be over exaggerated because you don't want to see the truth. You don't want to face the truth. But guess what? Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time to be waiting around for somebody to fix themselves and you change somebody and they not like this, so you want them to be like that. Oh my God, no. Ew. No.
Especially at this point in our lives. I don't know how old everybody is on here, but I'm going to be 33 this year, and I'm at a place in my life where it's got to feel right or it's got to go. Like,
right.
Doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is, whether it's a family, it's a member, it's a friend, it's a romantic relationship. It has to feel right. It has to be giving and adding to my happiness and to my life and my peace that I already have within myself.
Right.
To allow you into that, because sometimes you don't even get close enough to me to even have the opportunity to disrupt my peace at all. So if it got to the place
Period.
literally, if it got to the place where you were given that opportunity, that means that you were worth it, because it's not going to get to that point unless I really see potential based on the actions that you're showing me straight up.
So, period. Quincy 305 said, people will play on you just to see how long you will let them. That's what we're letting go.
Mic drop. Boom. Facts. Like facts. Quincy, I love that.
And that's just the bombshell here of the solutions. That right there. People will play on you just to see how long you will let them. So when you start to see they playing with you, honey, you don't give them 10 or 30 more seconds to do so. Block and delete. Gots to go. Bang.
Take it from Yanni. She blocks like
I block people, honey.
My sister's the same way. She'll be like, I just blocked them. And I'm like, I'm not shocked. I would love to see your block list at this point, because it's like pages. I showed her this message this morning that I got from this guy that was so creepy. And the first thing, I hope you blocked him.
For real.
I hope you blocked him, sis.
Facts. Like, did you block him? Because he does, his energy, gross. Men, listen, before we end this show, I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. Men, please listen to what I'm gonna say right now, because I am sick and tired of my sis getting these very gross, inappropriate DMs, and she screenshots them and she sends them to me, because the first time she told me, I was like, no way. She's like, you say less, sis. Screenshot, sent it, and it's been crazy. Okay? Men, please don't slide into women's DMs with good morning, beautiful. And then she responds with, hey, good morning. And your follow-up is, I bet your kitty, okay, your kitty is tight and on point. How do you say that? Do you think that women actually respond? All women respond to that type of response, especially if you think you're handsome and women are on your eggplants. Let me tell you something. Not every woman is the same, baby. Not every woman is the same. And if you slide into women's DMs doing that, saying that, you are officially blocked and deleted. My sis should not be disrespected that way at all, because there is nothing in her profile. And I say this,
literally,
there's nothing in her profile that states
morning. And you just started following me 20 minutes earlier. So it's not like they've even been like, watching me for a while. That boy, Rye, he said he wants to publicly apologize for what he said to me. And I told him, I said, listen, women like compliments, but they don't like disrespect. So
right.
there's a way to compliment, and there's a way to, let somebody know that you're interested or you find them attractive without sounding like a creep and without being inappropriate. So just choose your words wisely. Again, like we're saying, actions mean so much. Words can also be very offensive too, and that could also lead to you not even given the opportunity to show any actions, because once you say the wrong thing, it's out. Like, you're done.
That's it. That is it. Like, honestly. So a solution for that is, gentlemen, since we're already on the topic, gentlemen, the solution is fill the profile out, read, go through the profile. And honestly, if that is how you look at women, you need to have a deeper, like, you need to really self-reflect, because that's a lot. That's all I have to say. That's the solution for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Friends, my
But
love, my beautiful people, my loyal followers, everybody that be on Love Solutions, we appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you pay attention to actions. Make sure you follow those gut feelings. And yes, as Rye said, do better. Self-worth.
yes.
Exactly. The world we live in, people now are emotional manipulators. Manipulation.
That was good though. You had it though. You had it first because you said emotional manipulation, manipulators, and then you changed it. But you said it. Love solutions and love conflicts wouldn't be what it would be without these little, like, funny moments that we have. We got apple fritters, sugar. What is
The
it? Sugar
raw,
dumplings.
authentic moments that really happen. Honestly, it's the uncut rawness that you guys experience right here. And we're so appreciative of everybody who is loyal, who's on here. Somebody added our podcast today in the gym, by the way. So that was on Apple Podcasts, and I just love spreading our word and spreading our awareness. It's really honestly been such a beautiful journey.
Yes, it has. And I'm so grateful to have you by my side, sis, and we're doing this together. The show, guys, you can find the Love Solutions podcast right on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spotify, YouTube, also Anchor FM. If you don't have like Apple Podcast or Spotify, you can listen to it on Anchor FM for free. So just go to anchor.fm, look up the Love Solutions podcast, and all of our episodes are on there. We're also on YouTube, same thing, Love Solutions podcast, and we're on Instagram as well. Okay, so y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. This is your girl Sayani.
Thank you guys so much. It's your girl, Dari Marie. Peace and love, y'all.